Hello everybody, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to use local storage in JavaScript. So local storage allows us to store key value pairs in a web browser with no expiration date, alright? So this means that the data persists even after the browser is closed and reopened, alright? So first let's start off with an example. So how can we add data to local storage? Right, we could use local storage dot and then set item. Then you have to pass the key. The key should be a string. Both key and the value you put should be strings. Alright. Use username, then comma. Let's give it a value of acro. Alright. If I save this, nothing will happen in the console, but if I go to the application section, as you can see here, local storage, just open it, click here. You're gonna find the key username with the value of acro. Alright. So which means that we managed to add some data to local storage. If we can add, right, also we can remove. So we could use local storage dot remove item, right, and just pass in the key. And if I save file, as you can see, the key and its value were removed. All right. So we only covered how to store strings. What about arrays? What about objects? Right. So let's try store this object. I'll call it person. All right. Let's give it a name. Let's call it acro. Say age 67. City should be London. All right. Let's say I wanted to store this object called person in local storage. All right. Could use local storage dot set item. I'll call it person, comma. As I said before, we should always store the value should always be a string. In our case, it's an object. So this is just for experiment, right? So let's say we use the object instead of a string. If I save the file, as you can see, the value is not equal to our object. And if we try to console log, right, let's use get item. Let's try, if we try to console log the person, local storage.get item person, all right, if I save the file, as you can see, it gives us this useless string, right? Why is that? Because when using local storage, the value should be strings, right? So how do we solve this? We could use JSON.stringify, right, and pass the person, right? So now if I save, as you can see, we managed to store our string, all right, because I've used JSON.stringify, all right. But if we go back to our console, when I try to log the person, it's still a string. So how do we solve this? We could use JSON.parse to convert the string back to object. All right, if I save this, as you can see here, we get back our object. All right, same with arrays. All right, let's give a quick example. Let's call it friends. All right, say agro, Ben, and David. All right, some random names. All right, and if we try to store or add something to local storage, we use set item, pass the key. I'm gonna just call it friends. All right, and then the value. Again, for experiment, I'm just gonna pass friends to see what it's gonna be stored in our local storage. As you can see, guys, the array wasn't stored. We just got these values separated by comma, right? So how do we solve this? Is by converting this array to a string using JSON.stringify, all right? Now if I save the file, you can see that the array was stored successfully, all right? And let's see, let's log it to the console, local storage, get item, then I pass in, it's called friends, all right? If I save it, it's still gonna give me a string, that's why I have to convert it from string to back to array. So I'm just gonna use JSON.parse, all right? And if I save the file, I get back my array, all right? Now, we We have covered how to add an item, also how to remove an item, right? What about, let's say if I had like a bunch of data in my storage and I wanted to get rid of all of it, alright? We could use localStorage.clear to remove everything from our local storage. If I save the file now, as you can see, everything was removed from our storage. Yeah, that's it pretty much for local storage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.